Hey, what's up, and welcome back to Back Pocket Topics. I'm Cooper,
And I'm Scott.
and today we have our NBA trade deadline review episode for you guys.
Yeah, we're just gonna go through all the trades that happen. We're gonna start with the Kyrie Irving trade and work our way up chronologically.
The major
Um,
trades.
yeah, the major ones. We're obviously not gonna include like the Heat sending Dwayne Dedman to San Antonio for cash considerations. Quoting that from ESPN right here. We're gonna gloss over those ones, but like obviously gonna get the major trades and even give our 2 cents on a couple of the smaller ones like Bones Highland and stuff like that, and Thomas
Sure.
Bryant and whatnot. But yeah, let's start off with the Kyrie Irving to the Dallas Mavericks. Cooper, do you want to get us started?
Yeah, so just to sum up this trade, the Mavs ended up getting Kyrie and also got Markieff Morris from the Nets, and the Nets received Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, a first and 2 seconds. So right off the bat, I like this move for the Mavericks. I feel like throughout, I don't know, probably like the past 2.5 seasons, everyone's been complaining about how Luka has no help. Mark Cuban and the Mavs won't get him another star to, help him out. And then they finally went out and did it and got a superstar player like Kyrie, who, when he's on the court, when he's playing, when he's not making trouble, he's easily a top 15, probably higher talent in the league. Um, and yeah, I mean, there's definitely been questions about how Kyrie and Luka are going to work together offensively, but honestly, I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think throughout the season thus far, before they acquired Kyrie, and it was just Luka, it was just kind of like four other guys running around and then Luka doing all this stuff. So now it'll just be three other guys running around and then Kyrie and Luka doing stuff on offense. The only issue I have with this trade is that Mavericks starting five defensively is going to be pretty bad.
Yeah, trading away your best defender, arguably in Dorian Finney-Smith, and just replacing it with Kyrie. And I don't know, like you get Markieff Morris, but Markieff Morris isn't really anything to that's gonna help you. And I don't know. I'm just interested to see how like Kyrie and Luka gel because obviously both very ball dominant guards, but Kyrie Irving has proven that he's been able to play with some other great players like LeBron, and like Kevin Durant and James Harden. Whether or not that was super successful, I don't know. But like they did make it to the Eastern Conference semis.
Semis, yeah.
Yeah, the semis, and they almost beat that Bucks team that ended up winning the championship. So they definitely have had some success, and Kyrie Irving has had a lot of experience playing with ball dominant players in the past. But Luka's a different level of ball dominant, and it's going to be interesting to see how Luka adjusts. But I think they'll probably be fine. At the end of the day, you're just getting more talent into it. It might, they definitely got better offensively, but just that defensive side of the ball, dude, that was where they really needed to make a move and try to get help. I feel like to maybe
Yeah.
like Mikal Bridges ended up getting traded. If Mikal Bridges went to the um, Mavericks, that'd be perfect. I feel like because you add defense and you add like a 17 point per game scorer and like a great shooter that can just help Luka out while also allowing Luka to keep being ball dominant. But I don't know. I still think that the Mavericks got a little bit better, but it's definitely I don't think it pushes them over the edge and makes them like some favorite to be a contender, but like they're definitely probably in the top. They're in the mix. They're probably a top four team in the West, and I don't know. As for the Nets, I like they only got one first round pick, turning down bigger offers from the Lakers and I think the Suns for Kyrie, but which is kind of funny if you think about it,
Just the
but
ultimate middle finger to Kyrie because I'm pretty sure those were his two teams that he wanted to go to, Phoenix and LA.
yeah, exactly. Just like they'll be like, "Fuck you, Kyrie," um, and yeah, they got 2029 first, which is very far in the future too. So it's not like it's gonna be anything big. It's a low value first round pick,
All
but
right.
I don't know. It's just a rental for Kyrie. Kyrie's contract was expiring anyways, and I don't know. They're just moving in a different direction, and honestly, they still like getting Spencer Dinwiddie, bringing him back, and getting Dorian Finney-Smith. Not a bad return, but I don't know. I think they, yeah, not a bad return. Kyrie wanted out. You got some decent guys to replace him. So
Yeah, I think this Nets team is going to be interesting to watch throughout the rest of the season because now they're pretty deep now. They have just like a bunch of role players, some guys that can score. Dinwiddie, I mean Cam Thomas just went on his Linsanity run of three straight 40+ point games. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Should we move on to that 3-team deal?
Yeah, sure. Starting, it's the Lakers. So I'm just gonna outline the trade real
Yeah,
quick. The Lakers get D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt. The Timberwolves get Mike Conley, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and 3 second-round picks. And the Jazz get Russell Westbrook, though he's probably not gonna end up staying there.
I doubt it.
Juan Toscano Anderson and Damian Jones, and a first-round pick. So I'm gonna start off with this from the Lakers side of things. Great move for the
Yes.
Lakers.
Yes.
Like D'Angelo Russell, bringing him back to LA, I think he fits perfectly with what they want to do there. He's a great shooter. He is a very good playmaker, and he's not even that old. Like it feels like he's been in the league for a while because like I think he was drafted in 2015, but he's only 26 years old. Like, and yeah, he just fits that timeline really well. Getting another good shooter, Malik Beasley, and then Jared Vanderbilt's one of the most underrated players in basketball right now. He's an incredible defender and a great hustle player. And in the past, like the thing the Lakers have been lacking, it feels like it's just someone who's willing to do the dirty work and hustle. And now that they don't have Patrick Beverly, which we'll get to later, Jared Vanderbilt is someone who will do that while also actually being good at defense. So, yeah. And then as for the Timberwolves, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on the Timberwolves or the Jazz?
I mean, not really. I mean, the Jazz keep doing what they've been doing. Just whenever they have a player that starts to play well, just ship them off, I guess, except for Lauri Markkanen. At first, when I saw this from the Timberwolves' point of view, I was a little confused as to what they were trying to do here. But that was before I saw the 3 second-round picks. Second-round picks were just flying around like they were like worth nothing today. It was wild. I was blown away by some of that stuff.
I'd almost argue that they were being thrown around as if they are worth something. Like I feel like some teams are making trades with first, second round picks, and at the end of the day, second round picks, I feel like they aren't super valuable. Like yeah, they're helpful as like just little like sprinkles on top of other trades if you're going to try to flip them for something in the future. But like,
sure,
I feel like the actual picks themselves, like how often do you get a second round pick actually do something?
No, that's fair.
Jordan Poole, Draymond Green, Nikola Jokic. Like yeah, 3 good players.
I would assume.
Io, yeah, fair enough. But like, I don't know. Chances are they're not even going to make the final roster. So
yeah, that's fair. But just in terms of this trade specifically, I mean, it's pretty easy to see that the Lakers want it. I would say.
Oh, 100%.
And one thing you're talking about Jared Vanderbilt a little bit. One thing that you didn't mention, I think that the Lakers could start doing is maybe when AD's off the floor, you could run like a small ball lineup and have Vanderbilt be your small ball 5, put LeBron at the 4 or Hachimura at the 4. And that would be a pretty good lineup. I think the Lakers are making, I don't want to say that they're like premium contenders because they're not, but they're making all the right moves right now. And they're really solidifying that bench, which is something that they clearly needed to do.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so moving on to the next trade. We can probably talk about the Raptors landing Jakob Poeltl, just real briefly. I don't know. Jakob Poeltl is a great player, and the Spurs just getting rid of him. They're continuing their little rebuild thing that they're doing.
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know. Trying to get Victor at least. I don't know.
I guess.
But yeah, they got a 2024 first round pick and 2 seconds plus Khem Birch for Jakob Poeltl, and they gave up Jakob Poeltl. I don't know. Jakob Poeltl's a very good interior defender, and I guess the Raptors wanting to add that to their team. I don't know. Do you have anything to add there?
Yeah. It was a bigger haul than I would have expected. That's a solid return for Poeltl.
Yeah, for sure.
As for the Raptors, like current direction, I don't know. What seed? I mean, they're what low, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 range.
They're not contenders, so
yeah. So I mean, at least they're trying to make their team better, which is something a team in Chicago should have tried to do. But yeah, Yeah, I feel like we don't really have to cover that much.
Yeah, we can move on to a trade that we do have to cover though.
Yeah,
and
this was crazy.
it's the Suns acquiring Kevin Durant in a blockbuster trade at 1 a.m.
Yeah, when I woke up and turned on my phone and the notifications came popping in, I was like, "Oh my god!" So I mean, the final trade details: the Suns ended up getting KD and TJ Warren. The Nets got Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, Jay Crowder, 4 firsts, and a 2028 pick swap. That's a big haul. It's a big haul.
Yeah, I honestly think it's a win for both teams if we're being honest.
No, I would agree. I would agree with that.
Like you kind of have to blow it up once you trade Kyrie. Like Kevin Durant's not going to want to be there with Ben Simmons as his second best player. And like 4 first-round picks, Mikal Bridges too. Plus Cameron Johnson's not a bad player. They don't have Jay Crowder anymore, but like,
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges and Cameron Johnson, 4 first-round picks. Like,
It's a lot.
that's nuts. And then, do you want to talk about how Durant might fit with Phoenix, or?
Sure. I mean, if you look at that starting lineup, what they're projecting, at least, it's looking like it's going to be CP3 or CP0 at the 1, D-Book at the 2, and then maybe like Torrey Craig at the 3. I think I saw KD at the 4, Ayton at the 5. That's a pretty freaking good lineup right there. KD has proven that he can play alongside another high-level scorer. I mean, obviously, he did it with Steph Curry. He did it with Kyrie, James Harden. If you want to throw Klay Thompson in there, and I guess, I mean, he's not on Devin Booker's level, but, I mean, you get what I'm trying to say. When I first looked at this trade's details, I was fully expecting Ayton to be gone for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe CP3, something like that. The fact that they were able to keep their big 3 and add KD is really, really impressive. And I think that Chris Paul is, like, now Chris Paul is even more so going to get to enjoy the role that he's been enjoying the past few seasons. He can get his buckets when he has to, but, I mean, really, Chris Paul is just going to be a facilitator out there, which is what he does best.
Yeah, so I agree. Like, I think that both Kevin Durant and Devin Booker feel like players that will be able to play off each other pretty well because they're both efficient, like, shooters and scorers. And I don't know. And I think that their defense definitely got worse with losing Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, who are both very capable defenders. But Kevin Durant's not a slouch on defense, and you still have Ayton, who's going to be decent. And, like, I don't know. I think that they definitely got better, and they're definitely – I don't know if they're favorites. I want to see them actually, like, play together before I say that they're favorites. But
Say they're 2.
Yeah. Would you put the Nuggets over them?
Yeah, I still got the Nuggets.
Yeah, and Nuggets are playing really well. Just the problem with the Nuggets is they suck when Jokic is off the floor. But, like,
True.
I don't know. They just added Thomas Bryant, so maybe that'll be a little bit better. Thomas Bryant, the Jokic replacement. You know how it is. Yeah, I just wanted to say something real quick about Durant.
Sure.
About finding out the Durant news.
Yeah.
I didn't actually check it on Twitter when I found out. I noticed I woke up and I was just watching TikTok after I got out of my shower and I was just like getting my clothes on or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I just see a TikTok come up about some dude freaking out because he saw Kevin Durant because he saw Kevin Durant get traded at 1 a.m. randomly. And I was like, wait, what? And I just go onto Twitter and I just am flooded with so much stuff. And I was like I did not expect to figure this out from TikTok, but I don't know.
I will say real quick, I really admire the Suns organization for this move. And not just because, like, obviously you're going out and getting a consensus top 3 player in basketball, I would say. Top 5, sure, whatever. The fact that the Suns last year were the number 1 seed in the West, 2 years ago, I don't know. In the past 3 years, they've had multiple 60-win seasons. They've been the number 1 seed. They've been to the finals. And they're still willing to go out there and make moves to get better. They know, like, okay, what we're doing right now isn't going to cut it. We're going to go out and make a move, make a splash. And especially, I'm pretty sure like it was literally yesterday or 2 days ago, they brought in their new owner. And I saw somewhere that the whole time that the new owner was on the plane to Phoenix, he was making calls with Brooklyn the whole time. And I guess, I mean, that ended up paying off, obviously.
Great first move. But yeah, I agree with everything you said there, and let's move on to
Thomas Bryant.
Yeah, Thomas Bryant to the Nuggets. Originally speaking, this trade was kind of a head scratcher for me from the Lakers side of things, because like 3 second rounders for Thomas Bryant, when like, oh, you need who's gonna be your big when AD goes down, which like
Vanderbilt, I guess.
He's not proven to be reliable. But then they ended up trading for Mo Bamba after that. And then it made sense because Mo Bamba is, I think he's probably a little bit worse than Thomas Bryant, but like,
really,
I don't know. I like Thomas Bryant. I think that he, like, maybe I'm being, because I don't watch a ton of basketball. I do watch some, but like, when I was watching the Lakers I think it was a week and a half ago or something, they said that Thomas Bryant was like averaging like 17 points, like super efficiently with like, like 11 rebounds or something over the last like 5 games or something. Like, let me just
clarify. I would just say, speaking to Mo Bamba, well, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but I think he definitely plays better defense than Thomas Bryant.
Yeah, I could get behind that. Like he's longer. Like
sure.
Yeah, he's definitely, and he also stretches the floor a little bit too. Like he's shooting 40% from 3 basically. And
so just to sum up this trade real quick, it was did you sum it up? No, I don't think so. Yeah, so it was Thomas Bryant to the Nuggets. The Lakers get guard Davon Reed, who I've never heard of, and then 3 seconds. So
yeah. So originally a head scratcher, but I understand the thought process behind it. And apparently I'm just hearing that Thomas Bryant was also a little bit unhappy with his role with AD back, but that could just be like, that's just what some of my friends were telling me.
There's always stuff going on with the Lakers, I feel like.
Always. They just like being in the spotlight, I feel like. So
well, they always are in the spotlight.
Yep. But yeah,
from the Nuggets' point of view, sorry, I like this a lot. At the beginning of the season and even up till now, DeAndre Jordan was getting minutes. Get that guy off the floor, man. Like, just retire. Not even retire, but just be a Jared Dudley. Sit on the bench, give some wisdom to the younger guys. Maybe
be Dwight Howard and go to Taiwan and dominate over there.
Sure. No, even Dwight Howard looks better than this.
That's true.
So I like it. I like it for the Nuggets.
Yeah, it definitely gives them a little bit of a safety when Jokic has to come off the floor. So there's that. But yeah, moving on to the Trailblazers landing Matisse Thybulle. So the Trailblazers ended up getting Matisse Thybulle. The 76ers got Jalen McDaniels and 2 second-round picks, and the Hornets got Svi Mikhailiuk and 2 second-round picks. And yeah, do you have anything to say about this one?
I can say that I've always liked Matisse Thybulle a lot. I like what he brings on the defensive side of the ball. And he just plays with a high motor that a lot of guys in the league don't do sometimes. Like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'll be watching an NBA game and I'll just see someone just like kind of going through the motions on defense. But it always seems to me like Matisse Thybulle, when he got the opportunity to play in Philadelphia, he was always out there hustling. But I will say he has kind of struggled offensively, which is part of the reason why he doesn't play as much. So I'm happy for him that he gets a fresh start in Portland. Maybe get some minutes.
Yeah, definitely not the best offensive player, but a great defensive player to play off Dame and Anthony Simons and just that whole unit. But yeah, there's not much else to say there, but let's move on to the Pacers, Bucks, and Nets striking a 3-team trade. The Nets getting 2 second-round picks, continuing to just load up in that department. The Pacers get George Hill, Serge Ibaka, Jordan Nwora, and 3 second-round picks, and the Milwaukee Bucks get the player who has not played this year, but could be good for them, I feel like, Jay Crowder.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like this move from the Bucks standpoint didn't make a ton of sense to me right off the bat. Because obviously they gave up Jordan Nora and then Serge George Hill. I don't know.
It seems like a lot to give up just for Jay Crowder, who hasn't played
in a year. And
Like-
when he does play, like he's all right, but not that good.
I feel like I could see the trade more, and I could kind of honestly like it a little bit if Jay Crowder had been playing and if he was like doing what he's been doing. But just the fact that he's just not played this year at all, and like or anything like that, and to give up George Hill, who let me just real quickly, who's playing 20 minutes for you, and Serge Ibaka, and like Jordan Nwora is playing around similar, I'm pretty sure, and then Ibaka as your big man is playing 12 minutes. So
Serge didn't really play that much. They were thinking about buying him out too, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, so I guess you're not losing too much there, but I don't know. It just feels like it's a little bit of an interesting trade, and you're also giving up some picks, I believe. So
I think they were like I don't want to say they were all 5, but they might have been all 5 seconds. I don't know.
no, they wouldn't, because then the Pacers wouldn't be giving up anything.
Oh yeah, you're right. Probably 3 then.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just a little bit of a head scratcher. I like it from Brooklyn's perspective because you don't really need Jay Crowder with the roster that you have, because you've got now Cameron Johnson, you've got McCall, you've got Ben Simmons, you've got Joe Harris, Utah. Just you don't really need Jay Crowder, so just ship him out, get more draft capital. Perfect. Pacers perspective, I don't really mind it. I don't know, just a couple of role players, just whatever.
What are they, a play-in team? Pacers?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, not too much else to talk.
To give him his credit real quick, I mean, he'll probably just be like, that veteran, like defensive anchor, not anchor, but like the grizzled defensive veteran that'll be on the floor from time to time. Like he'll be more of like a locker room presence than anything, I feel like.
Yeah, and now just really quickly talking about the Clippers acquiring Bones Highland from the Nuggets.
This made 0 sense to me. Unless I'm missing something, this made 0 sense to me.
So Bones Highland, like, I just don't understand why the Nuggets stopped playing him. Like, I get trading him now because he hasn't played in like the past 5 games for them, but why? When he's been playing, he's been averaging 12 points per game on only 19 minutes. He's a really fun guard off the bench that, like, I just would love to see him in there. I think he provides a little bit of dynamite that the Nuggets have been really appreciating, and then they just stopped playing him. But I don't know. The Nuggets are still one of the best teams in basketball, so I guess they know what they're doing. But it just feels like giving up those assets for
2 seconds.
2 seconds? I don't really know. Maybe you're just trying to get your seconds back after getting Thomas Bryant. Maybe you just view Thomas Bryant as more valuable than Bones Highland, but I don't even know if that's true because you have Jokic playing like 90% of the game, so you don't really need Thomas Bryant too much. But like, I don't know. As far as the Clippers' point of view, though, I like it. Bones Highland, I feel like fits with their like whole vibe and definitely should gel well with the rest of their team, especially since they got rid of John Wall and
Luke Kennard,
who
yeah.
So they must have just had that like already in the works. So then they decided to get Bones Highland to replace them, which can't fault them for that. But
yeah,
yeah,
there's got to be something that we're not seeing with that Nuggets organization. Like there must be some disagreement, some tension, some reason why he wasn't playing. He's only 22 years old. I feel like it's pretty quick to give up on a guy like that. He's averaging 12 points a game.
Yeah, and only 19 minutes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he doesn't play that good of defense, but like, I don't know. Good for the Clippers. I respect it.
Yeah, but now let's move on to another 3-team trade. It feels like there's been a lot of 3-team trades this trade deadline, but the Atlanta Hawks got Sadiq Bey, the Detroit Pistons got James Wiseman, and the Golden State Warriors got Kevin Knox and 5 second-round picks. So I initially got really excited about this trade because I didn't realize that Sadiq Bey was going to the Hawks. I thought he was going to the Warriors. And me, I'm a huge Sadiq Bey guy. So like I'm a really big
random.
I'm a really big draft guy, right?
Sure.
And like especially like NFL draft, but like I scouted one NBA draft. And in that one NBA draft, my draft crush was Sadiq Bey.
Oh, you've
I
talked about this.
loved Sadiq Bey so much, and like and he was playing pretty well. I feel like in the NBA too. It wasn't just like a college thing.
He had that 40-point game.
Yeah, and like I don't know, I like Sadiq Bey, and I was just excited to see how he'd mix in with the Warriors, and I think that his skill set would have worked really well there because he's a 3-and-D guy who would be perfect for them.
Sure.
But then he ended up going to the Hawks, so a little less exciting. But I don't know, they can definitely use him.
Yeah.
The Pistons, who knows? Maybe they'll get something out of James Wiseman, but probably not.
Worth taking a shot, though.
Definitely
them,
worth
sure.
taking a shot.
Yeah,
like
with the situation that they're in, for sure.
He definitely has a higher upside than Sadiq Bey, but Sadiq Bey definitely a better player right now. And Kevin Knox, I forgot he was in the league. So
I don't even think did he play for the Hawks? I don't think so.
I didn't know he was still alive.
Fortnite suit guy.
Yeah, exactly. That picture's what I think of every single time I see him. But yeah, you got anything to add there? You want to move on?
Yeah, worth noting that those 5 seconds that the Warriors got are the 5 seconds that they would later flip for Gary Payton II, which we can talk about if you want.
Yeah, let's just talk about that. Let's just talk about that right now while we're talking about it.
Okay.
I like Gary Payton II. He played very well for them, was a very good defender, was an energetic guy off the bench.
Right.
Love to get him back in the building.
Sure. Two things. Right off the bat, I mean, yeah, he's a good player that you want to have on your team. I'm not really sure if more guards is what the Warriors really needed. But yeah, I mean, good guy to have on your team, plays good defense, tries, stuff like that. It was definitely like a trade deadline full of like hypotheticals for the Warriors because, I mean, first off, they could have just re-signed Gary Payton in the offseason. But the reason they couldn't is because they had no money, because they were paying James Wiseman a lot of money because he was the second overall pick. And then they ended up trading Wiseman to get picks to go out and get Payton back. It was a little weird. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Good job.
Yeah.
Good. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on to we already talked about the Lakers side of this trade, but just Patrick Beverley,
I feel bad. I feel bad for him.
I feel bad, but I think it's so funny with him, like with just his reactions over Twitter, dude. I don't know if you've seen it. You probably have. But Patrick Beverley just like tweeted out here. He
The
basically
Woj stuff.
Yeah, like the Woj stuff, and also and yeah, so he basically just is not like he tweets the gang is back with a picture of him and D'Lo, and then literally like a couple hours later he ends up getting traded.
Yeah, and what I saw is he was talking about like I don't know his direct quote, but he was like, "Damn, Woj must have been in the gym this offseason or something. He's out working Shams." And then Shams was the one that broke the tweet that he was getting traded to the Magic, and I thought that was funny.
Yep. I see Woj been in the gym. He giving Shams trouble this year.
That's so funny. I think he also did something similar with the T-Wolves when Cat got extended. He was like, "Oh, that's love" or something, and then like 3 days later he got traded. Yeah, I mean, good move for the Lakers. Obviously, we talked about that a little bit, but Magic, I don't really get why you're trading away a guy like Mo Bamba for Beverly,
especially straight up. Like,
it's weird.
I don't know, kind of stupid trade in my opinion.
I have to agree.
Yeah, at the end of the day, not the Magic side of things. It's not going to impact the grand scheme of the NBA too much.
No,
but yeah, let's move on to, I believe probably the last trade we're going to talk about. The Clippers getting Eric Gordon and 3 second-round picks.
I like this move a lot.
Yeah. And then the Grizzlies getting Luke Kennard, I also like that for them. And then the Rockets getting Danny Green, whatever. And also John Wall, correct?
That's what I saw. This ESPN article says no, but I'm pretty sure it's a yes.
Yeah. Which is just funny. I'll let you talk about why it's funny because
Dude, when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, if I'm John Wall, I am livid. Like, unbelievably pissed off about this. Like, I don't know how long ago it was. It was a couple of weeks ago where John Wall goes on some podcast. I don't remember whose podcast it was. My apologies to whoever that is. And he's just trashing the Rockets as an organization, just going in on them like it's horrible, blah, blah, blah. I had to go out there and start with no names, like all this stuff. Like they treated the players terribly. They let the players do whatever they want. There's no discipline, nothing. And then the Clippers, like 3 weeks later, like, yeah, I'm sorry, John, you're going back, man. That sucks. I feel like, I guess I haven't been paying attention to enough Clippers basketball this year because everyone hyped up this move in the offseason, but clearly John Wall's play wasn't cutting it if they're moving him so easily.
Yeah. He was quoted as calling the Rockets beyond trash. So whenever you're quoted talking about that about your own team, or in that case it was his former team, but now it's his own team. It's not the best sign for the future.
No, definitely not. It would that be the first time one player's been bought out by the same team twice?
Probably. Like
That's
I
crazy.
can't think of another time at least.
For the Clippers,
I guess it's kind of funny that Spencer Dinwiddie's back on the Nets after that trade, but like
that is funny.
I don't know if it's not the same situation. So
no.
But yeah, go on.
Yeah, for the Clippers, I like this move. Eric Gordon, well-renowned three-point shooter, 3-and-D guy. Grizzlies, Luke Kennard. Hopefully Luke Kennard takes some minutes away from Dylan Brooks. I hate that guy. He's probably the most annoying player in the NBA right now.
I don't think it's going to get into his minutes simply because Dylan Brooks is so good at defense while being so weird on offense.
So annoying.
He thinks he's Kobe, but he is not.
Yeah, and he's Klay Thompson owns him.
Yeah, he's such a good defender. He looks so weird, and he's good. He's a terrible offensive player. Yeah,
that Grizzlies team is just nobody likes them anymore.
I like watching them, but I don't.
Sure, but
I like Jaren Jackson.
The stuff that's been going on with Ja.
I like Jaren Jackson. Ja's fun to watch, so I'll enjoy the Grizzlies. But yeah, they're a bit of an interesting team.
Shout out my boy Danny Green, getting left out to die out there in Houston. It's tough, man.
Very, very tough. But yeah, you got anything else to add before we close this out?
No. Do you want to do team that won the trade deadline?
Sure. I think that obviously the teams that won it were the main teams that won it were the teams that got the big blockbuster players in the Suns and the Mavericks. But I'd also say that the Lakers won it because they kind of went from a team that is no longer like the Lakers were like obviously getting a lot of media attention and like maybe being hyped up as like, oh, a sneaky contender. But now with
shout out LeBron.
Yeah, but with now LeBron, with AD getting healthy, I believe, but who knows how long that's going to last. And D'Angelo Russell, and then getting Mo Bamba in there, and just more depth all around. They actually could make some noise in the West.
Solid roster.
Yeah, they are probably like the fifth-ish team in the West now, probably. With Malik Monk and Jared Vanderbilt and D'Angelo Russell getting in there, plus Mo Bamba.
I think Malik Monk's on the Kings now.
Not Malik Monk, Malik Beasley. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. But yeah. What about you? Who do you think won?
I was going to talk about the Lakers. I don't know. I honestly think the Nets, given the situation that they were in, I think they made the most of it. It sucks that trio that they assembled was never able to really get on the floor together and really contend. But I think that given the situation where their superstars wanted out, they were able to get solid hauls back in return. One thing I wish I would have saw was the Pelicans getting out there and making a move to further contend. They went and got Josh Richardson from the Spurs, who's solid, but other than that, they didn't really do much. And the Bulls, obviously, Bulls are ugh.
Bulls are out of the playoffs right now.
They're cooked, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps us up, right?
I believe so.
All right. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Back Pocket Topics. Make sure you subscribe, follow, give it a like.
Yeah, and keep your eye out for upcoming videos. We're gonna post a Super Bowl preview, probably not too long after we post this one. So
Indeed.
keep your eyes out.
All right. Later, guys.
All right, see ya.